What's up, dog? How you doing, man? Yeah, I'm trying to add something here. Let me see if that does it. Yeah. Wow, that's great. That's their big. Hey, you want to hear something, Steven? Hang on for a second. Hey, um, when I first got to San Diego, Kogo was getting killed. 1090 was killing that station, killing it. You know what turned it around? It wasn't Brian Long. What turned it around was Trump. Trump turned that station around. And then the whole thing with the stadium and the Spanoses and all that. I need more lighting in here. I need to get another light in here. They were getting killed. Jack Cronin. Was he the old program director at 1090? Was Jack Cronin the old program director? Is that who that is? Bro, Darren will never, in the history of his radio show, ever duplicate the numbers he did at 1090. Ever. He will never get ratings again. His show's not very good. I'll tell you what, he runs a show that's like, it just sounds like high school radio. Yeah, it's right. His sports show is, and you know why it's boring? Can I tell you? Because he wants to be a journalist. Radio people aren't journalists, dude. They're opinionists. And there lies why he hates me, because I do a show that's entertaining and he doesn't, because he's not capable. And the Marty chick that's on with him, she's horrific. Hey, and you want to hear something else, Stephen, about Marty? Yeah, you know what she said? She said on the air, my wife wants to put her foot in her mouth. On the air, she said, how can his daughter live in a house with a man like that? And a sexist, homophobic pig like that. She must have no morals herself. Dodgers just tied it up, dude. 3-run bomb. The Dodgers just tied it up. Bellinger hit a 3-run bomb. So, Steven, that's the kind of people I worked with. Talking about my daughter like that. It's all good. They're professional lowlifes, all of them. That's okay. It's good experience for you. Trev, it's okay. You know what? Hey, Trev, you know what they probably did? They didn't want to move you, spend the money. They probably found a guy locally in Miami, and it was cheaper. They probably decided to go in-house because the station's not going to move you. And they're just not going to, because yeah, okay, that sounds right. And they don't have to pay for it. Dude, you got a 3-run lead in the 8th inning. That's crazy. I have never suggested that you were not the best guy at 1090 or Florida or not. Steven. Two places, Steven. You want to know 2 places I bombed? The rest of them have been massive successes. The freaking Miami, man. at QAM. But get this, I didn't have bad ratings. I raised the ratings like 500%. It was like, it was Neil Rogers' old shift. It was like, get this, 05s, 2554. I left, it was like 4-1. I kept all the ratings books too. You see me post them sometimes. Oh my God, was I great in Tampa? I was really great in Tampa. Oh, hey, Trev. No, get this. In Tampa, man, we had 8 shares. I was a tick under being number one. Did that for years, man. 8 shares. Then I went to Miami and I didn't have all the good people around me. I still got great ratings, though. Hey, you want to hear this? When I was on KMBR, I had 14 shares. I did a thing called Sports Phone 68 in San Francisco. I got 14 shares. Man, it was off the chain great. Farrell had set the table for. I took over for Scott Farrell. Farrell got syndicated nationally. I took over Sports Phone 68, and it was like Farrell was like smoking weed on the air and shit. It was freaking hilarious. Do you guys remember the old sports channel? They used to air his show live. And he was playing hockey in like the hallways and shit. And they came to me when I was in Vegas and they go, "Hey man, do you want to do Sports Phone 68?" I was like, "It's my first big gig." And I said, "Yeah." So I did Sports Phone 68 for like 2 years. And then I went to and then I went to the Ticket 1050, did morning drive. I did afternoon and then mornings. So think about it for a second. In San Francisco, I did 6 to 10, and then I turned around and I did afternoon drive and I did morning drive. I did morning drive twice. I did it on KGO and I did it on KMBR. I never thought about that, man. Yeah, I did an afternoon show, 2 morning shows in San Francisco. Huh. Yeah. Radio time. I'm sorry. I don't know what you're talking. Don't ever call me another name as long as you live. You understand me? My name is Big Sills. Get that shit right, dog. The name is Big Sills. Don't ever forget it. And by the way, I'll nail my shoes to your door too. Yeah, I will. My pro wings. Big Sills don't need wings, Junior. I'm like the fucking Hulk. I'm a bounder. Yeah. I always liked the Hulk. Yeah, I did. I did, yeah. Thank you, Fallopian. I appreciate it. Oh, my goodness. Thank you, Sphinxta. What are you going to do? Not going to do nothing. I don't give a shit. Yeah, no, I mean, seriously, man, if you're hit by a train, I could care less. I don't mean this. Hey, by the way, everybody watching it, I don't mean it. Oh, I know what happened. The previous show must have shit all over you, and dude, Dodgers hit 3 in the 8th. Yeah, seriously. I mean, or an airplane fell out of the sky and fell on you. I could really. I mean, what do you want? What air? Pick one. Wow. Yeah. Hey, Steven, I had some really here. Just so Chris is saying the same thing you're saying. Yeah, the Jeff kid was a very nice producer, wasn't the best. And I had another one who used to take his shirt off and send me pictures on my cell phone. The other guy I had before Jeff, he fainted in the studio, laid on the floor. I missed about, I think, 3 segments it was. So, yeah, I've had a pretty good run. And the only guy that's worth the shit is the guy that I'm bitching at right now. Yeah, but that's okay. Stop crying. I hate whiners. Oh, Christopher. Hey, man. Hey, thank you. I love you, man. Thank you so much. You always take care. Hey, you always take care of Big Sills, man. You're great. Hey, by the way, who does this get? Yeah, man. So, yep. So they like, yeah, they're very like, I'm great. They like the numbers and stuff. We showed them on my social media thing and all that. It was really great, man. I'm really happy about it. Yeah, I know. Yeah, because then, yeah, yes, yep. Good evening, America. Dan Sileo, USA Radio, and welcome aboard. What an interesting time in sports. Basketball's here, the NHL's here. Major League Baseball's playoffs, one of the weirdest game threes I've ever seen in an NLDS. Down 5-2, okay? In the bottom of the 8th inning, Dodgers are up 6-5 now over the Braves. Trevor on my social media platform, on my Twitch channel, says, are the Braves cursed? Just, I mean, their postseason resume over the last 30 years, with all the talent and all the pitching that they have had in that organization, to have only one World Series title is heart-wrenching. All those straight NL East titles they had, one championship over the Cleveland Indians. That's it. Hall of Famer pitcher after Hall of Famer pitcher has gone through that organization. I mean, managers, Bobby Cox, all the great ones that they've had in there. To have one series title in the last 30 some odd years is incredible. Okay? It is. By the way, I say it's an it's an interesting time in sports now because it really is. By the way, you're hearing me talk to some of my social media partners here. Let me just say this to you. If you're listening to us on our great friends with USA Radio Network, we thank you for coming aboard each and every single night. My platforms, though, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, we thank you very much also for being part of the show. If you'd like to post something, please do. We usually kind of make it part of the content in our show. Once you say something, we throw it out there. I want to start it off, and again, I underline this by saying it's a very interesting time in sports. So today, the Washington State Cougars and their football program say goodbye to Nick Rolovich. They fired him. You know, coach is getting fired. You're like this, right? Coach is getting fired. Well, you know, he's probably underperforming. His Cougars aren't playing very well. No, you know what he was fired for? COVID-19 mandated shots. You have to be vaccinated in that state now at state institutions. It's mandatory that all people that work and as state employees, you have to be vaccinated. It's a mandate. He was fired today for that with 4 other assistant coaches for an outdoor sport. Nobody in the South has been in any way saying that those places like Tuscaloosa, Baton Rouge, or in Blacksburg were super spreaders because nobody has come down with anything with COVID at any of those locations. But the Pac-12 goes along with this. So the Pac-12 fires coaches for mandates, not standing up for them, not fighting them in any way. And guess what? The Southeastern Conference, you know what their mandate is? Winning. Winning. You will never see mandates for vaccinations in the Southeastern Conference. That is never going to happen. They care about winning, and they follow the science. It's why last year they got through all of it without that hopscotch and skipping that the Pac-12 and the Big Ten went through last year. By the way, you notice the Big Ten's not going through that again? The Pac-12 is a joke and a freak show. No wonder kids are leaving, and you can't keep kids in Los Angeles anymore. You know where they're going? They're going to the SEC. Kids are not staying in California any longer to play at Southern Cal because of the way COVID was handled in the last 2 years. I'm telling you. Kids are leaving by the scores, the state of California. By the scores. You know what the science is for the SEC? Football. Football. Yeah, but you're not just looking out for that. The chances of kids in that age group getting sick and dying, look, I'm not going to play a doctor here. You go look it up on the CDC. And by the way, you go look up what they say for mandates when we're talking about people being outside. Just read it. I read it tonight. But football coaches who 97% of the time are outside with their players, it's mandated you're vaccinated or you lose your job. You see what's going on in Chicago? Police union went like this. Hey, sorry, Mayor, that ain't working. You'll have a skeleton of a police force. We are not following that. We did not vote on that. Okay? You just can't come pushing in here these mandates and think we're going to sit around. Fine, we'll take leave with no pay. Good luck to you. And already the most dangerous city in America, Chicago. And by the way, you don't happen to think all those police are Republicans, do you? Or white guys? They're blacks and whites on that police force in Chicago. What does that tell you? People are sick of it. They're sick of the misrepresentation that is going on with our government, not the CDC. Because look, I'm like everybody else. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make sure that I practice protocols. And you know what else I'm going to do? You know, my guy Chris O sent out an email a couple days ago, and it's an internal email, so I won't tell you what it is. But let me say this to you. You know what it did remind me of? It reminded me of this. I'm no doctor, dude. I'm not going to sit here and tell you to get vaccinated or not vaccinated. That's not my freaking job. That is not my freaking job. And if you hear any broadcaster telling you that, quite frankly, you should look at them and say, how dare you say that to me and my kids, because they have no right to suggest anything to you. They're not qualified. They are not. I am not qualified to talk about a doctor's recommendation for COVID-19. Who in their right mind would think that some talk show host is? Joe Rogan, I watched that podcast with him and the doctor from CNN. He turned him into a joke show. He did. Embarrassed the whole entire network. Network was walking back and still trying to go after Rogan. Rogan made his point, though. It's a city of lies. It's a city of lies. So you fired a coach today because he wouldn't get vaccinated. Guy who deals with young men and women. You know what he's telling them too? Be your own man. You know, carve your own history out. You know, do what's in the best interest for you. Teaching them all the things that coaches should be teaching you, just like a regular teacher. Well, no, the state steps in and says, no. Unless the state tells you something, tells you how to, your health and such. I found that to be so over the top. You fired a football coach, a good one too, because of mandates. It's so obnoxious. It absolutely is. Just utterly obnoxious. All right. Hey, by the way, just keep feeding the SEC. All you dumb conferences who want to go down that line, all your 5-star kids in California, Washington, Nevada, Arizona, they'll be going to the SEC, and you'll be left behind with the 3-star kids. Not that those kids are bad, but you're never really going to have the teams that they have in the SEC, because you know why? In that conference, they play football. In that conference, they do what's in the best interest of the kids and the program, for sure. They don't do what's in the best interest of a particular politician that has government behind them in their party because they own the White House and the Senate and the House. Isn't it funny how politicians are involved in college sports because they can be? Because state institutions get state money and government funding, so they can squeeze all of these institutions. You never see that crap going on in the NFL. You ain't getting anybody mandating anything. That ain't happening. Funny, isn't it? Kyrie Irving can't play. He can't play basketball in Brooklyn. But get this, Cole Beasley could play wide receiver in Buffalo. Okay, I don't see them mandating him. He still shows up and he's dressed. Funny, isn't it? But college football, you can do that because you have state money going into those programs. So politically, you can squeeze the Board of Regents and the president. You could do that. And that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. Hey, man, government funding, we could always vote a new Board of Regents in if you don't put these mask mandates. So that coach can today. It was only a matter of time before he was going to get fired. Only a matter of time. And sure enough, they pulled the trigger on it. So I guess, get this, So now the only people that can get that job are people that are vaccinated. Well, good luck trying to find one of those coaches from the SEC or one of those great coaches like that. Hey, good luck to you. So one of the questions, I would like to know if this is legal. I'm not a lawyer. So when you're interviewing the coach for Washington State, is part of your interview, excuse me, I'd like for you to tell us a little bit about your medical history. Are you vaccinated? I don't know if that's, can you ask that question? Can you ask that question? Isn't that job discrimination? How do you get around that? How do you get around discrimination in that? It's almost like asking a person if you have AIDS or not, and that determines whether or not you get a job. You know they're going to be biased if you do. You can't ask a person, do you have HIV? In a job interview? Has anyone asked that question? In a state employment scene where you're trying to get a job with the state. Yeah, I'd like to become the head football coach of Washington State. Are you vaccinated? Can you ask that question? And if you said no, how is that not discrimination? Or are you dissecting it a different way? Well, it's a global pandemic, so was AIDS. Wow. Look where our country is right now. First question on a job interview now is, are you vaccinated or not in certain parts of our country? There is a nightmare going on in Philadelphia. I want to hit on it. So much to hit on tonight. You keep it right here on the Dan Sileo Show. Thank you. I can't believe the Dodgers came back, dude. In an inning and a half, they're going to close it out here, and they're going to win this thing. Yeah. What a win. And you know, of course, Dodger fans, you know, half of them were leaving. Not a shocker. Who are you going to put in there? It's the same front office. Billy Martin. A's? Wasn't he the manager of the A's? Oh, okay. He's a manager of the Tigers, too. Car wreck, right? Alcohol, right? This Jensen can just throw mean heat, man. God, did I? Whew. Still exhausted. Baseball's been around 150 years. Wow, baseball's been around 150 years. What a great historical. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. First postseason win when trailing by 7 or plus 7 innings, down by 3 in baseball history. Dodgers come from behind. They were down 5-2 in the 8th with 1 out. They win it 6-5. Atlanta still leads the series 2-1. What an incredible turn of events at the end of this thing. You know what's notorious about Dodger fans too? They always leave early. You know that video of Kirk Gibson hitting the home run? Watch it. But don't watch Gibson hitting the bomb. Watch when the ball takes flight after Eckersley throws the pitch. Watch the parking lot area where the Dodger fans park. Every single light in the parking lot goes red because everybody hit their brakes. They couldn't believe that Gibson had hit the home run off Eckersley. Eckersley was a Cy Young winner that year, the most dominant reliever, like to that point, like one of the truly great. Know this, Eckersley started his career. He actually won 20 games in Cleveland. He was a 20-game winner. And his career was going nowhere. I think it was Dave Duncan, La Russa's pitching coach, turned him over into a reliever. And he goes to the Hall of Fame as a reliever, not a starter. But Eckersley started his career as a starting pitcher. And I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure he won 20 games with the Cleveland Indians. I mean, but you got to look at that outfield. When Gibson hits the home run, man, everybody pumps the brakes. And it's like typical Dodger fan. So, man, what an absolute incredible game. What a game 3 here in the NLDS here. Mookie Betts playing great baseball. Cody Bellinger was the guy that hit the 3-run shot and put them in a tie, and then they ended up taking the lead. Incredible finish. What an absolutely great finish here, man. All right, I got to hit on this, and I got to say this to you too. We are in an era now where you get a chance to put one guy versus another guy and how we look at particular athletes. Lamar Jackson in Baltimore, and I want to put Ben Simmons out there on the table for you too, okay? I want you guys to see these two guys. Lamar Jackson has now become an absolute freak show in Baltimore, and I say that with the greatest respect. The greatest respect. He is a phenomenal teammate, smart. The culture inside that Ravens organization is second to none. There's an expectation in that organization to be great. And Lamar Jackson is the face of that franchise. And, man, he wears it, and he wears it proudly. Ben Simmons, on the other hand, the Philadelphia 76er. Today he was asked to be part of a drill, and Doc Rivers said, "Hey, we're getting ready to have our opener versus the New Orleans Pelicans. Can we run some defensive drills?" Has a cell phone in his shorts, and he goes like this: "No, I'm not doing it." Doc Rivers asked him again, "Listen, Ben," says, "I'm not doing it." Finally, Doc Rivers sent him home. They suspended him. Conduct detrimental to the team. You know what that means? They don't have to pay him. Think of that for a minute. I want to continue this. There's the difference between a leader, a role model, and the other guy just doesn't care. We'll expand on that. I want to talk a little bit about Coach O. Hey, don't forget, this goes out to our great friends in the Valley, in the Phoenix area. Guys, how about your Arizona Cardinals and how well they're playing football this year? Arizona State, Arizona, they are all in the race for the Pac-12 as well. Maybe not so much Arizona, but Arizona State. Suns basketball starting up. USC, this is your one-stop place. $3 Michelob Ultra Lights are there for you as well. Food specials, tremendous giveaways. The Valley Hooters. Make sure you tell them, Big Sills, tell them that we sent you. We'll hit on Ben Simmons next. I got you, man. Yeah. No, no, no. I'm all good, brother. No, no. Just been no, no, no. Just been a long couple of days. That's all. That could be later. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. You know, character matters. Not being a character. Okay? Here's what I mean by that. I don't care what kind of business you have. What's the first thing people are gravitated to and gravitate to when it comes to hiring, when it comes to looking at a particular athlete, politician, is talent. And it should start there. Then you have to start weighing the pluses and minuses out. And here's where I'm going with this. Most sports teams start with talent. They don't start with the intangibles of the athlete. This is why you can't evaluate the quarterback position. You understand that? Because you have to have some type of patience, leadership, determination. You've got to be smart. These are all unathletic things. And it's hard for people. Do you understand here? Listen. Okay, this is why people get the quarterback position wrong. How many times have people been wrong about people? Evaluating a person's character is harder than evaluating a person's athletic ability. It's easy. It's a lazy layup. It's the reason that you see, how did that guy fail? It's character. Well, he's got great athletic ability. No, you know what? Of course he does. But what didn't you do? You didn't look at the character of the guy. Does he love what he does? Is he committed? Is he a good dude? You don't have to be a great person, but you got to be a good dude. Common sense stuff. Don't rob banks. Don't beat kids. Don't hurt animals, elderly. Simple stuff, man. Right? Is he surly? I don't care about that stuff. Just got to be a good dude. The hardest thing to do when you're evaluating somebody is evaluate character. People always start with the obvious. He's an athlete. He's very skilled. And then when you find out he's an ass pipe, you're like, gee, man, this guy doesn't fit here. I wonder why. Well, you didn't do your job. You know, last segment I was talking about Ben Simmons versus, say, Lamar Jackson. Or Zach Ertz, who just left Philadelphia and went to Arizona. Another great example. Here's a guy that lived in the Philly area. He hated leaving Philly. He posted a Twitter comment, and then he had something on his Instagram. He put something in the newspaper. I went to Philadelphia. Boy, I left the man. All that. Thanked him. Now he's in Arizona with a chance to play for a really great team, his Cardinal team, which is undefeated. And his true love is football. That's why, even though he loves Philadelphia, that's his second love. His second love is that city, but the first love is football. These guys love playing for those places. Ben Simmons, I'll say this to you. Don't be mad at the player. Be mad at the game. This is the current NBA today. Ben Simmons walks around with a cell phone in his pocket, doesn't care about his teammates, could care less about Philadelphia. He's guaranteed his money. He could tell management to kiss his ass at any moment, and he does. and he doesn't want to be there. Look at what James Harden did last year. Look at what Kevin Durant did a couple years ago when he left both Oklahoma City, then he left Golden State, and then he went to Brooklyn. Look at what Kyrie Irving did. Look at all these guys. This is the era of LeBron James. Congratulations. You've got all these prima donnas. That's the new virus that's in the NBA that they got to worry about. But you see, the difference with that virus is this. There is no vaccination. When you're an NBA prima donna, there's no vaccination that can cure you of this. Because when you sign those max deals, those $270 million guaranteed over $250 million is put in your bank accounts. You got FU money, man. I don't have to listen to anybody. And if you don't have character, you won't. What made Jordan great? Do you think it was just his athletic ability? Look at the people around Jordan. Comes from a great family. Father and mother, hardworking, middle class. He was no poor kid. He's from Wilmington. What happened after that? Oh, gee, Dean Smith. Really? Wow. So he had Dean Smith for 3 years in North Carolina. Oh, okay. Who was his agent? David Falk? Really? David Falk engineered the greatest deal in the history of Michael Jordan's life and anybody else's pro sports-wise when he created the Jordan brand. Jordan didn't want to sign with Nike. David Falk talked him into it. And now it's the biggest brand in the world, the Air Jordans. I see football jerseys with the Jordan logo on it now. Then he goes where? To Chicago. Phil Jackson. Oh, gee. So his coaches were Phil Jackson and Dean Smith. Well, okay. That's good people around you. Creating great character and molding you with character. Then you see LeBron. Can you name me one coach that you had any kind of respect for LeBron was around? No, because you know why? LeBron, the only time that he had his greatest success was in Miami. And he had to listen to Pat Riley. Well, that only lasted a few years. He got his championships and left because he didn't want to be around it. It's funny. Pat Riley was around Abdul-Jabbar and Magic Johnson. You think there's any coincidence when you think of the greatest players of all time and the greatest team sport champions? Both Jabbar and Magic Johnson played for Pat Riley. Got 5 NBA championships. I mean, character matters, friends. So when I see this here with Ben Simmons, the NBA's created this. They've created this. You have Lamar Jackson on the other hand here, who is a unbelievably gifted and superstar person. I think that's it right there. Maybe I just said it. Lamar Jackson is a superstar person. Did you see that video of him a couple weeks ago? He was out in the schoolyard in the Baltimore area. And you know what he was doing? He was playing defensive back, and he was covering these wide receiver and these inner city kids, and he's doing it on the pavement. You know what everybody in the media did? Oh, my God, you've got a $180 million guaranteed contract coming your way. How could you do something so stupid? You know what his response was? Well, if I can inspire somebody from the inner cities of Baltimore and I can show them that, hey, if I can do it, you can do it. That's all I'm looking to do, is to be a role model for kids that don't have anything. For kids maybe who don't have the most important thing you could possibly have. You know what that freaking is? Hope. Lamar Jackson sells hope. I was so wrong on him. I thought he'd be out of the league in 5 years. Within the matter of the short time span that he's been in the league, he's changed not only my whole entire way I see him, But now I do this. Wow, if I had to start a football team, I would have to maybe start it with him. What a transformation. This is just watching him play and watching him carry himself. He is such a stud. I am so impressed with him as a man. And see, I'm impressed with him, the man, as I am the player. Ben Simmons has no character. He has no character. He doesn't care about anything except himself. But see, that's okay. Because again, it's not the player you should hate. It's the game. The NBA has made it this way where players can do this. If they don't like what's going on in a particular place, they can just leave. No commitment to anything. So when you don't have a commitment to anything, you're not committed to anyone. Why would I care about anyone? When you're committed to a team and you got to try to win, you got to be committed to each other, honestly. And paychecks don't matter. When you're playing a football game, paychecks don't matter, dude. Whether you're the right guard, the left guard, the defensive back, the quarterback, everyone is needed. Just more positions are more valued than others. That doesn't mean you're any less valuable in the concept of winning as a team. But that's what the NBA guy doesn't get. He doesn't get that. Oh, watch this. Someone will probably call me a racist for talking like this. And you're like, why is that racist? Well, because I'm talking about a majority and dominant black sports league in the NBA. So you're saying they're lazy? No, I'm saying they don't care. And I'm talking NBA players. I'm sorry the face of your league is what it is. But James Harden quit on the Rockets last year. Kyrie Irving quit on the Celtics last year. KD quit on the Warriors last year. Funny, they're all together in Brooklyn. And people think that three guys who quit are going to deliver an NBA championship together. Good luck. I want to see that happen. Be the first again, like I was with Lamar, to put my hand up and go like this. Wow, was I wrong? Those guys were able to somehow flip a switch and bring it all together. I think they're losers. Kevin Durant, you know why he left Golden State? Why do you think he left Golden State? Kevin Durant left Golden State because the guy with the character on the Golden State Warriors was Steph Curry. And Steph Curry is a lot like D. Wade. You see, LeBron left Miami. Why? Because it was D. Wade's city and team. He would never win over the fan base. I was there for it. He was the linchpin of those Heat teams. He made LeBron feel it was his team, when in actuality, it never was. Steph Curry is the face of Golden State. I don't care if you put Michael Jordan in the building. That fan base adores that guy, and rightfully so. I love watching him play too. Character matters, folks. It matters in the end. That's why, again, the most difficult thing to do is evaluate quarterbacks and superstar NBA guys. Because when you turn around, you go, man, he's just not a very high character guy. And isn't that always the demise of the great ones too, with the greatest ability? Kyrie Irving goes, I'll play when I feel like it. Tuesdays, Thursdays, I may take a week off for some sort of whatever. And Ben Simmons tells coaches, I'm not practicing. I don't care. And you know why they can say that? Because they're owed to $30 million. What a shame. Far from the teams when Larry and Magic saved the league. That was fun watching NBA basketball then. That was fun. Those guys were just warriors, man. They loved what they did. You know, I sometimes wonder, watch this. The difference between LeBron James and Tom Brady is what? It's desire. Did you see some of the comments that LeBron said today? He's going to start amping down his workout regimen. You know what's the direct opposite of Brady? Brady at 44 has ramped it up. His workouts are more today and more intense today than they were when he was 24. LeBron wants to amp it down. There's the difference. Brady knows he's got to work harder today because of his advanced age. LeBron looks at it like, well, I'm winding it down. There was always more of a desire with Tom Brady to be great. There was always more of a desire for him to motivate his teammates. Okay? That's the difference. All right. Friends, podcasterwarehouse.com. Look, this is your one-stop place. I tell you this, guys, all the time. 25% off of everything that is on the website. Earphones, microphones, processors, anything that you need, computers, it's there for you. Podcasterwarehouse.com. Listen, $5 to $5,000 you can spend. As I said, shipping is free. Go to podcasterwarehouse.com. That is podcasterwarehouse.com. I want to talk about Coach Orgeron and him being fired. Coach Orgeron, the head coach of LSU, is 49-17-0 with a national championship. Okay? And LSU wants him out. Why? I'll tell you why. We'll do it next. Oh, yeah, my aunt is probably going to go crazy. No, you are. I always pray for Chris. My aunt goes to church. My aunt goes to church every day. My aunt goes to church every day. My grandma and my aunt used to go to midnight mass all the time. Oh, God, man, my back's just on fire. Just been terrible. What? Yeah. No. I'm going to get back to doing that. Made my feet and my knees feel better. God bless your aunt. Thank you, Ken. Wise man. I wish I would have pushed you off the cliff. Wow, that's so terrible, man. Sileo, you know why you were kept around as a kid? Because your old lady had a tax write-off, and she got more money on her WIC checks. Hey, I used to walk everywhere, kid, when I was younger. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Welcome aboard with us, Stephen and Penguin AZ and everybody that's with us. We appreciate it. Thank you for coming aboard here on USA Radio Network. So Coach Orgeron and LSU have decided to part ways. Don't feel too bad for Coach O. He's getting $17 million out the door. That's his buyout. And he's making $6 this year. So he basically is going to walk out the door at LSU with $20 million this year. Oh, and you know what the promise is? That he doesn't coach in the SEC for the next 18 months. For $20 million, you got it. Okay? Hey, I'm good with that. But guess what is starting to come out now? I had a conversation earlier today, and I was talking to Houston Nutt, who was a 3-time SEC Coach of the Year in that conference. And I said to him, I go, did you see the story today? You know what's starting to circulate? They're starting to circulate some of the coaches' activities. I guess after Coach O got a divorce, he started bringing his girlfriends around the campus and around practices, and their families were showing up to LSU practices. And some of that got back, and I guess Coach O said something to a woman at a gas station. Get this. Here's another story. I guess Coach O pulled up in at a gas station, and there was a lady on a bike, and he's like, hey, you look like you work out. She's like, yes, I do. And Coach O goes, hey, maybe we can both work out. How you doing? Right? And then she goes, sir, I'm married and I'm pregnant. And he goes, what does that matter? Just so happens that was the school's vice chancellor's wife. And so it got to the athletic director, and some of that stuff is starting to come out now publicly. And of course it is. You know why? You've got to tar these guys on the way out the door. All divorces are horrible. Why not just leave now? Houston Nutt said, absolutely, just leave. We're all taught when we start something, we have to finish it. Well, the administration didn't want to finish it. They wanted him probably out right now. And Coach O shouldn't stick around because it's going to get uglier by the end of the year. The players are in the room going, well, do I go to the transfer portal now that Coach O's not here? Who's going to be the new coach? You're not thinking about winning games. They've absolutely sabotaged LSU's season this year by doing this in the middle of the year. Why would you do that unless you were looking to really tar Coach O out the door? He's 49-17-0 with a national championship, an SEC championship, and numerous guys who went in the first round, and he's been a credit to LSU. Are you under some impression that you're going to get a coach in there that's going to compete with Nick Saban? Good luck. If that was the same barometer that you're gauging, every coach in the SEC should be fired. He just beat Florida last week, right? Do you know what Dan Mullen's record is against Coach O? 1-3. Head coach of Florida is 1-3 versus Ed Orgeron. And they fired him. Because why? He chased his tail. Okay, I guess so. Hey, I don't want my head coach chasing tail. Hey, he chases crawdads and he chases tail in Baton Rouge. And they didn't want that look. I was like, well, what about the winning record? 49-17. And you fired that guy? That's insanity. Think of that. 49-17, you fire a guy who just won a national title 2 years ago. And now they're starting to call him like, Gene Chizik. And I'm like, I don't think so. It's incredible, man. I don't understand the story. Well, he's some things that, Coach O likes to chase tail. Okay. So your head coach chases it. Wow. I mean, in all the history of college football coaches, I'm sure he's the only one that's ever been a problem for. Like, oh my God, man. That's the issue? Oh. The SEC cares more about chasing tail than vaccinations. How's that for you? Hey, holy cow, man. It makes no sense. All right. I got to hit on Dak. Is Dak hurt again? Cowboys got to buy, right? All right. So Dak's hurt again. I want to hit on that. You keep it here. We'll reset. Keep it here on the Dan Sileo Show. Goodbye. What? No. What are you, the police? I'm talking to you, Junior. I mean, who are you, the police? When I owe you an explanation, let me know. Yeah, okay. Well, here, I'll get back to you. Dude, I don't give a shit how you think I play ball with you. Oh, okay. Here, let me worry. Wait, okay. Now I'm not. Well, really, you found me. I found you on a fucking park bench somewhere with an apple in your mouth. Oh, God. Really? Yeah, okay, guy. Seriously. That hole in your head wasn't put by a guy's bullet. It was put by his, It's okay. Keep swallowing. I hear you're big down on Canal Street. Yeah, right. Yeah, okay. Right next to Hell's Kitchen, there's a place down there. Believe me, next to the garbage cans. I hear that's home. The Port Authority was good, though. I did. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network, and welcome aboard with us here each and every single night, as we tell you. We love having you with us. Thank you. Steven, sometimes you. Yes, by the way, I'm talking to some of the folks that are on our social media platforms. Twitter, at Dan Sileo Show, our Twitch page, and our YouTube channel. You can join us that way if you wish. We'll take a look at some of the upcoming NFL games and college games at the bottom of the hour. A lot of storylines, man. You know, I broached this topic last hour on Nick Rolovich being fired at Washington State because he didn't want to have the COVID vaccination. Every time I think about that, if I was, and I posted this, by the way, if I was a college recruit today, I would never want Washington or Washington State to recruit me. I don't care about that. I want to play football. And if you're going to put that as a priority on me playing football potentially or having a coach me, I'm just going to go to a place that doesn't have that as a priority. I don't want that as a priority on the colleges that I'm picking. I've already gone through that last year where I didn't really, if I played in the Big Ten or Pac-12, I've already had my season and my college experience cut in half last year, and I don't need it again. And I don't want any politician having any kind of jurisdiction over how my college career is going to run. I don't want any of that. I don't want anyone telling me and my family that I have to do this particular thing. That is not your decision. Okay? It's not. Well, it's mandated now in the state of Washington that if you're a state employee, you have to be vaccinated. So Rolovich was fired. 4 assistant coaches as well. Okay, well, guess what? I was a highly recruited kid. I'll never go there. Don't come knocking on my door. I have no interest in your programs. No way. See, that's the difference in college sports versus professional sports. Because when you're a college kid, they knock on your door and beg you to come play at their school. When you're an NFL guy, you get drafted to these places. You have no choice where you're going. And if you're good, you're always going to go to a sorry-ass program. Of course, I went to the Buccaneers because I was good in college. That should always tell you what people thought of me. I was a high draft choice. I had to go to a bad team. But when I'm in high school, I get to pick. I don't know. I like this coach more than I like this place. I like this guy. You know, the funny thing I realized years after, I really liked the coaches that I played for. Bobby Ross was a spectacular man and a man of character. He was my first coach at Maryland. Just a tremendous character guy. Then I got a chance to be coached by Jimmy Johnson. And he thought that passion, character, all of it was important. Every single bit of it mattered. Okay? And you're not going to always get the best person. You're not always going to have all the intangibles line up perfectly. But Jimmy tried to find the guys that it was the closest to. You know what I'm saying? Look, man, he's not the greatest dude. He's really gifted. He's not a bad guy. So it was called the sliding scale. And Jimmy would go, well, okay, he's really great. He's not that bad a guy. Let's see if we can develop him. Or he's a great guy and a great player. Jimmy tried finding those balances for all of us. That's why he could coach Michael Irvin or he could coach Troy Aikman. That's a skill when you're a businessman too. That means you're open to hiring anybody as long as they can produce. I love that. I love that. See, to me, this comes down to the kind of people that you hire, kind of people that you go after. Do you go after people just because they're talented? Most people do because it's a layup. It's an easy layup. Well, he's really gifted. Man, he really had great ratings in radio. And then you get a chance to be around him and you find out he's a toolbox. And you can't stand a guy. And he drives everybody away. Salespeople hate him. Before you know it, get this. He has no clients. He has nothing going for him. And you go like this. Wow, this guy sucks. And then it's so, isn't it? Doesn't it always end up like that? Because you find out who the guy is. So true, man. So true how you look at things and how people, go about hiring. And then you got to add COVID-19 into it. I don't know. I think it's discrimination, you ask me. I do. You can't have a job because you're not vaccinated. It's the same thing to me, Dan Sileo, as asking a person if you're HIV positive or not. Some would go, they're two different viruses. Of course they are. But they have the same fundamental meaning. You can't ask somebody that. And so watch this. So where'd you go to school? Well, I went to school, University of Miami. What's your background? Well, I was coached by Jimmy Johnson and I was coached by, Dennis Erickson. And I did a stint with Bobby Ross and, it was really great. Are you vaccinated? No. Oh, I'm sorry. You can't have the job. Okay. So that's the only reason? Yeah. Okay. I can't wait till some of this stuff goes to the courts. When somebody doesn't get a job because of racial discrimination, it goes to courts. When somebody doesn't get a job because of health discrimination, what's the difference? What's the difference? How is a justice going to rule any differently? I don't know why people haven't had the onions to go to court yet. You need to challenge this. But then again, that would be challenging the Biden administration. And you know what happens when you do that? You automatically get called a white supremacist for challenging that. Again, because, you're anti-vaxxers. No, you're not anti-vaxxers. No, you're not. Okay? You're not anti-vaxxing. Well, I just got the really coolest text. Okay. And I'm going to show it on my social media. Look who just texted me. Make sure the phone number is not there. Sorry for my radio folks. I'm going to tell you in a second. Ed Ogeron just texted me because I said, don't worry, coach. I got your back. I'd love to play for you. He said, thank you, Dan. Sack fumble. And I said to him, I go, I always have your back. I have Coach O's back at all times. And here's a coach that was fired for being 49-17 with a national championship. Yeah. And you fired that guy in Washington State because he's not vaccinated. Hey, man, do I live in a freaky world, man. I really do. That's crazy, crazy. All right. So let me go over to Dak. Cowboys are in a bye, right, this week? And so Dak's got a calf strain. Some go like this. Dan, do you think it's serious? Every injury in the NFL it's not serious, but it can become concerning. Jerry Jones came out today and said that I'd be concerned if we played this week. And as I said, the Cowboys are on a bye. He'd be concerned, he said. Is this a collateral damage injury from a year ago on October 11th, I believe it was, where he had that catastrophic injury? Could this be his body still getting back into playing shape? He's still not – basically what it says is, is he still not 100% from a year ago? I would say yes. Is it concerning? I don't know concerning because it's calf strain. I'll tell you this. I've had calf strains. They're miserable. And they take all year to heal. You just can't go like this. Well, it'll be better in 2 weeks. Like a hamstring injury. It doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. So if you're the Cowboys, do you look at it and go like this? Okay, well, I'm concerned now. There is no question. If Dak Prescott is not on that Dallas Cowboy team, they're a 5-win team at best. 5-win team at best. And they have to have him on that field because he is the catalyst. Are they Super Bowl contending teams? Absolutely. Absolutely, they're a Super Bowl contending team. Are they in the conversation with the rest of those teams like the Bills and the Bucks and the Rams? Absolutely. Absolutely. You've got to have this guy. If I were the Cowboys, I would be a little concerned. And for the record, can I tell you what I would do as a security blanket? I would sign Cam Newton. I would put Cam Newton on my football team. Dak's got the money. He's not going to take his job. And if you're Cam, you should take the job. And show people you could be a good teammate because you might get another job out there. There's going to be numerous opportunities for Cam Newton, the quarterback, next year if he could show he could be a good teammate. You see what he tweeted out? He's vaccinated now. Sign him. He wants to play. If I were the Cowboys, I would surely, if I was Seattle, I would talk to him. I saw Pete Carroll said that they had reached out to Cam and talked to him last week. And they'll say they said they'll get back. I went like this. What a slap in the face to Cam. Dude, don't get back to me. And don't make that public that you talked to me and that you passed on me in some sort of way or some sort of weirdo way. You got Geno Smith as your starting quarterback over Cam Newton. That's a joke, right? That's a joke. You know what they're afraid of? They don't want Cam to go in there. Then all of a sudden, people start screaming for Cam Newton because Russell Wilson is all banged up right now. He's got that hand injury. And then people start screaming for Cam's fame is stopping him from getting a job right now. That's why I say this. And Billy, maybe you agree with me or all my folks on my social media platforms. Hey, I would say this to you, man. Dak Prescott would be the perfect place for him to sign Cam Newton. He ain't going to take his job. Guys making $42 million a year. Unless something happens to Cam. Can you imagine if something happened to Cam or something happened to Dak? You have Cam Newton on your bench. It's the greatest seatbelt security blanket that you could possibly have if something goes sideways with a football season that's going relatively well for Dallas. Why don't you sign yourself a lifeboat here? He is. I'll tell you one more time too. I think Belichick screwed up by not having Cam Newton this year as a starting quarterback. I think they'd have a 500 record. But you got a rookie in the building now running your team. He's not winning games late. Why is that? Well, he's a rookie. What'd you expect? Penguin says Packers should take him. Absolutely. Something happened to Aaron Rodgers. The greatest security blanket is on the beach right now. I would sign Cam. Hell, if I were the Rams, I would sign him. He's going to be league minimum. What is it, $1 million? Dude, the guy who signs Newton could save his season. How about Baltimore? You imagine having Cam Newton behind Lamar Jackson, helping him also go, right? Wow. Unbelievable. All right. Hey, I want to hit on the top 5 in the NFL. We'll do it next. It's all good. Got it. No. You know, Tucker said that they don't have a mandate. Wow. He goes on the air saying that they don't. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Baker Mayfield, want to hit on him. By the way, again, week 7 NFL. Take a look at the upcoming schedule. Looks really great. So Baker Mayfield's getting another opinion on his hurt shoulder, whatever. Somebody goes like this. He goes, well, Danny's got a torn labrum. So does my daughter. She plays D1 rugby. Give me a break. You're now in week 7 of the NFL. Somebody's got something that's wrong with them. Hurt ankle. Dak Prescott. Strained calf. Hurt wrist. Russell Wilson's got a cracked hand. Brady's foot hurts. And here's Baker Mayfield making excuses up and why he's sucking out loud. Those are guys you don't want leading your football team. I said it since day one. This guy lacks leadership, and he lacks toughness in the pocket. He lacks the character I talk about that you need to play that position. When your teammates are down and things are not going well, the reason you make all the money is because you play the most important position. He wants all. Here's what Baker Mayfield wants of the Browns. He wants to kiss all the cheerleaders and cash all the paychecks, but he doesn't want to do the intangibles that it takes to become Tom Brady. Okay? Mayfield and his agent now are floating that out that they're getting a second opinion because you know why? He's not going to get his contract extension. Cleveland's got to move on from him. The guy in Philadelphia is just as good as Baker Mayfield. I think Jalen Hurts could do the same job in Cleveland that Baker Mayfield does and maybe protect the football a little better. Maybe give him a better option when it comes to running the ball. That team runs the ball. And Mayfield goes – by the way, he is so overrated. It's mind-numbing. But because he was the first – here, and get this. So Baker Mayfield was in that 2018 draft, right? Do you guys know who was in that draft too? Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. They have lapped that guy. It's funny. Josh Allen is one of the top 5 guys, and Lamar Jackson is a freak show. Then you throw Baker in that, you go like this. What guy, you know that game? What doesn't fit? He's it. Like those other 2 guys, it's a coin flip. It's a coin flip. Think about that. It's a coin flip between Lamar and the way he plays the game and the way Josh Allen plays the game for the Bills. It's a coin flip. I happen to like the guy in Baltimore. I think the guy in Baltimore is just revolutionizing the position. It's remarkable. And there's Baker. Well, he's the only guy out of that draft, really, that's left that's worth anything. And he didn't get an extension. Baltimore's working on one with Lamar, and Josh got his. So what does his agent do? Send out false smoke signals. Well, he's injured. He's injured. Yeah. Wait, your ego? Dude, he's not the guy for Cleveland. He's just not. All right. Hey, folks, this goes out to our friends in the Phoenix area for our great friends at the Hooters in the Valley there. All the great action. We're talking Arizona Cardinals, undefeated with Kyler Murray. It's one of the great jobs going on, man. All the beer specials, $3 Michelob Ultra drafts. You've got to try the steamers. They are sensational. UFC nights, this is for you as well. Unbelievable place. Tell them Sileo sent you. Let's look at week 7 of the NFL, some significant games. We'll do it next. You keep it here on the Sileo Show. Oh yeah. Really? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, 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 that sounds right. Yeah. Wow. Ultimate. Bob Bob Who? Oh wow. Is that it? NBC? That's where Coward was. He did. Yes, he did, Junior. Uh, I don't know. How's staying in Vegas? Oh, solo me, my. Oh, solo me? Huh. I think it's a Dino song. No, I don't care. See, I mean, honestly, I mean, your evaluation of that in through one ear and out the a hole, not even out the other ear. Good for me. I think it'd be more good for you. Oh, okay, yeah, I'll work on it. Oh man, I hate that. And you know what? Those are the ones that I'm always the worst to. Because you don't have to do that. The title of itself has the respect, Chris. Or it should, you know what I mean? Yeah. Well, I look at it that way. I mean, everyone answers to someone in the world. You can't be your own boss. And the people in my business think they could just shit all over PDs and GMs and market guys. And I go like, hey, dude, in our business, everybody's replaceable, dude. They'll just turn the bird on you. What do I mean by that? I have to explain that to you. Divide. Yes, Dan Sileo here on USA Radio Network. I'm getting all these nice social media responses tonight from Ed Ogeron on my text message and Amy Trask on my Twitter. She's in a really tough bind with this John Gruden story. We'll look at week 7 of the NFL, but I want to hit on this a little bit because it just reminded me. She responded this way, and I'll tell you the context of it here in a minute. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate that a whole lot. I hadn't seen this, and I smiled when I saw the big 3 cap. Thank you again and hi again. Well, what I wrote for her to respond like that was Amy Trask, who was the CEO of the Las Vegas Raiders for 25 years / Oakland and Los Angeles, went on a podcast and confirmed that Bruce Allen spoke that way many times around her while she was the CEO of the Raiders. This is big. Let me tell you why. Because Amy's got to do something here that is against her. That's against her credo. She loves Al Davis. And I'm going to paraphrase it here. I read the story. I guess Bruce Allen spoke. And here, let me tell you about John Gruden's behavior around Amy Trask. You see, I tweeted also out, I love the man, but I hate the sin. Bruce Allen and I are friends. We are. But I hate the sin that's coming out. You understand where I'm going with this? He never at any time talked like that around me. So it's hard for me not to like the guy because I don't gauge my friendships on what your relationship is with someone else. Now, when you're starting to hear things like this, does it impact your relationship moving forward? I think it does. Because you don't want people to be in a perception game with you thinking that you tolerate that kind of behavior, that Bruce was using inappropriate language and a sexist behavior around Amy Trask. Amy Trask went on a podcast, as I said, and said that Bruce spoke like this all the time, like John Gruden. Some of the things that were in the emails. She said, I turned him in numerous times. I went to Al Davis numerous times about his behavior. That's a big deal for her because it's giving a little bit of the inner workings of the Raiders at the time that when Amy Trask was the CEO, she had to fight for every single thing that she needed to run the Raiders. And it was a hostile work environment, and she's making it known for the first time. There was some hostile environment for her to go through and become one of the very first CEOs of an NFL football team. Get this. Part of the whole dialogue was that John Gruden made it very clear that he wanted nothing to do with Amy Trask. He didn't want Amy Trask talking to him. He didn't want Amy Trask having any suggestions. It was known that John Gruden didn't want her in the building around him the first stint and the first go-around when he was the Raiders head coach. He made it very clear. The only thing you can deduct by that is that he didn't like a woman in charge. She was the CEO of the Raiders. You're telling the CEO of the Raiders, hey, I don't want you around. I don't give a crap what you say. I don't care what your opinion is. Do me a favor. Go bake me a cake. That's his attitude. Was really his attitude. And she said it in a podcast, and I was really troubled by it. Because Al Davis is a guy, again, his resume is legendary. Jim Plunkett, Native American, was on that team that won 2 Super Bowls. Hired Tom Flores as the first minority head football coach in the NFL. Hired Art Shell as the first African American head football coach in the NFL. Hired the first woman executive in Amy Trask. All of these were under Al Davis's watch. And what's troubling is that she's now coming out going, wasn't always the best environment. That's crazy because she always talks highly of Al. She always talks highly of Al Casal, his number 2, that was there with him forever with the Raiders. And when I hear this, I do this, man. She had to fight for it too, didn't she? It wasn't like the yellow brick road that everybody made it seem and how hard it was for her to get ahead and advance. She advanced all the way to the top, but it wasn't without dents in the fender. You know what I mean? She had to put up with a sexist coach, and she had to put up with the language that was going on in the hallways. Can you imagine the F-bombs that were dropped? And I'm talking about, the F-A, you-know-what word that describes homosexuals. Can you imagine all that stuff going around the workplace? And Amy Trask, I told her, and I tweeted out, when I think of Amy Trask, I think of this, leadership. You know that person that you see now that's on CBS? Trust me when I tell you, that's a kinder version of her. Because when you walked around her when she was the CEO of the Raiders, she commanded respect. And she wasn't as friendly as she is right now. Amy Trask would get in your ass in a second if she thought something was stupid or inappropriate. She's more of a politician right now because, you see, in society, we have to be more politicians because you know why? People like to be lied to, or they like to be told half-truths because, that's how people get through lives, is half-truths. Because anytime you tell people the truth, you become controversial, and people don't like that. People don't like the truth. So what you do is you tell them what they want to hear. And that's how you get through life now. And that's what she's mastered. I hate to say that to you guys, but it's true. You can never talk the same way in a locker room. Hey, here's my issues. Some of the things that when I first got into broadcasting, I've said this many times to you. I grew up in a locker room, and I took it to the airwaves. Unfortunately, a lot of those things that were said by me were inappropriate. Because you know why? That in one culture, it's accepted in the locker room, but in life, it's not because people don't like to hear that stuff. So again, it's more on you, but I understand how life goes now. You tell people what they want to hear or what they need to hear. And so that's how Amy's doing. And I see her, and I know she's playing the game. She plays the game like everybody else who's been an athlete now that's in broadcasting. You play the game. Because you can't talk the way you talk in a locker room, black and white. You just can't. People never build. They're like this. So you're not telling us how you truly feel? Oh no, I am. I'm just guarded by my words now, making sure that I don't say words that, hey, I can't be lazy on my words like I was when I first started. I was lazy. There's locker room stuff. It's lazy. You can say whatever you wanted in the locker room. You can't say that in life. When you go into society and start talking to people at business dinners or whatever, you can't talk like that. They would never understand. They would think you're from outer space. An NFL locker room or a sports locker room is not a microcosm of society. It's far from it. It's a different world. Some go like this. It's Neanderthal. Okay. I'll tell you what, though. I have fewer friends today than I ever did when I played. What's that tell you? The business that I'm in, I have fewer friends today than I've ever had. And the majority of my friends are still the ones that I made when I played. That's why I have very few friends in the business I'm in. You figure it out. Very simple. All right, let me get over some of these games for week 7 of the NFL, Thursday night game. So Baker Mayfield says he's going to try to grace the field for the Browns and give us his update tomorrow and whether or not he's going to play. Okay, whatever. The Browns have a baby at the position or have a high school cheerleader. They're so good, too. Will they beat Denver? Yeah, they're at home. If they don't, there's clearly something up here with this. But, it's a national game. It's Thursday Night Football. It's going to be on Fox. Huge ratings. And so he's going to play. He's going to play. He's going to play because it's a national televised game. This guy likes being an NFL star instead of starring in the NFL. That's going to be interesting. Washington, Green Bay. Green Bay's really turned it around, haven't they? Since that opening week loss to the Saints, Aaron Rodgers is playing MVP football again. How about this, baby? Wow. I'm looking at the schedule at the same time you are now. So when I do this, I haven't looked at it yet. Kansas City, Tennessee. Tennessee just on a Monday night stopped the Bills on that fourth down play. Derrick Henry goes for 143. And you got Patrick Mahomes rolling into Nashville. That's going to be a great football game. And it's an early game. Wow, that's going to be great. Atlanta, Miami. I don't know. I mean, really? How many people are going to click that thing on? Jets and New England. Again, two teams. Where are they going? The Patriots, they got Mac Jones. I think they made a mistake by not sticking with Cam Newton. I don't know. And the Jets, this Zach Wilson kid they got from BYU. How about this? I know it's early, but I'm not seeing it. Maybe it comes this year, but I'm just not seeing it. You know what I mean? Carolina at the Giants. The Giants are in a – man, what a mess. Dave Gettleman, the general manager. Dude, seriously, man. So 4 of the last 5 years, you want to hear this? The Giants have started the season 1-5. This is under his watch. I mean, really? I got in the wrong profession because you know why? You don't have to be a good GM or a good head coach to make millions. You just don't. 4 of the last 5 years, you start 1-5, and Dave Gettleman's still the GM of the New York Giants. Okay. The quarterback needs to be replaced. The head coach needs to be replaced. I don't get it. Cincinnati at Baltimore. That's going to be a sneaky good game. I'm telling you. And I'm sorry if I sound this way, but every week I'm falling more in love with Lamar Jackson. This guy he's special to watch. That's going to be a great game. It's in Baltimore. Joe Burrow has done a hell of a job turning the Bengals around. Did you hear what I said? Turning the Bengals around. Joe Burrow is turning a perennial loser around. That's amazing. It's almost like Drew Brees, what Brees did in New Orleans. Philadelphia at the Raiders. It's being Las Vegas. How about this? They played pretty good last week, didn't they, to get a win? Raiders look pretty decent, man. What are they, 4-2 now? What if they get another win? They should beat Philadelphia. So get this, 2 wins after John Gruden. You're 5-2. Hey, man, that's pretty good. I'd be good with that, wouldn't you? Without John Gruden, you get 2 wins. I mean, man, I think the Raiders can win that game. Detroit and the Rams. Holy cow. So you're telling me Jared Goff gets to play against the Rams and Stafford plays against Detroit. It's in Inglewood, though. But, man, the Rams are going to just poleaxe that team. I mean, they might as well call that exhibition game number 4. I mean, Dan Campbell can do all the crying he wants, man. But that's going to be a beating. Houston, Arizona. How about this? The Cardinals are going to go 7-0. That's in Glendale. 7-0. Now they get Zach Ertz from Philadelphia, too. Dude, man. Chicago, Green Bay. Last time Chicago played the Buccaneers, guess what happened? Bucs lost. That was on that Thursday night game. Then they went on a roll, and they ended up winning the Super Bowl. You know the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have won 14 of the last 15 games. How's that for you? They've won 14 of the last 15 ball games. Bucs are going to win that game. How about this one here? Colts and 49ers. I think Carson Wentz has got that football team turned back around again. I think they're going to run their record to 3-3 on the season. I do. San Francisco, Trey Lance. I don't know if Garoppolo's playing or not. I'm not sure. But, hey, man, you're starting to see some teams now really put their foot in and on the gas pedal now for it being a playoff team. Here's the teams on the bye, too. Buffalo, Dallas, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, the Chargers, and I believe it's Jacksonville. The Monday night game is Saints at Seattle. Hey, for the record, too, Seattle, they're not going to win another game without Russell Wilson. New Orleans with Jameis Winston, they're probably going to win that ball game, but they're going to have to go to Seattle. That's always a tough thing to do when you have to get on that plane and you have to fly to Seattle. Hey, flying to Seattle ain't that easy of a trip, my friends. It ain't that easy of a trip. It's always cold there, too. Always cold, right? They do have great coffee there, though. They do. Great coffee. Great coffee. My top 5 NFL teams. Let's do it next. You keep it here on the Dan Sileo Show. Why? What are you saying that for? Oh, really? All right. I couldn't think of it. I don't know. I couldn't think of anything else. Fish? What's good in Seattle, dude? You know what I didn't want to? I was going to go like this. They got great weed, but I didn't want to do that. Hey, honestly, I was going to say that, but I edited myself. I was going, Seattle's got great weed, but then I went coffee. But don't ever tell me that because I don't sound it. Tired. No, that'd be your face. You mean your 14th therapist? Oh. Uh-huh. Shut up. I know, man. I really wanted to say, thanks, Chris. I know I am. Asshole. Not in any mood. What? Shut up. I think it was totally dopey too, though. I did. I went like this. Coffee? Wow, that doesn't even sound like me. Hey, no. I'm not anywhere. Shut up. Shut your face, okay? I don't want to hear anything out of your face right now. Just shut your hole. That's so fucked up. Wow, this is really deserving. Shut up. I'm so sick of it. I've just been called out for the 3rd time in my radio career over 27 years, and rightfully so. No, I don't care what you think, okay? Let me hold on here. Coffee talk? Honestly, coffee talk. What's next? Hey, you know those Krispy Kremes, you know, the Krellers? Those things are really great when you dip them in hot coffee. I mean, you know, I get the ones with the sprinkles on them. They're great, you know. Hang on here. Basically, also, I like a jelly donut that is so packed with jelly that it just like it just spits all over my chest. Okay, and then after the jelly's out, I dip it in my Starbucks coffee because, of course, that's the best coffee in Seattle. Here, did I make it a little better? I mean, Seattle's really good at coffee. Oh, yes. And get there's no sushi. Yeah. It's actually nice gear, too. Whole thing's good, man. Oh, gee. So Chris is like this, man. Boy, you must be really exhausted or something here. Coffee critiques? Yes, I thought that I would end, and I thought I would have, my day, Krellers and coffee from Seattle. What a bunch of hey, let me tell you this. He's right in a way. When you hear coffee being broken down on the Dan Sileo Show, there's a mental issue here with me. What are you suggesting? What's that supposed to imply? What's that? What is that supposed to mean? Is that hold on, is that a slap in my face? Who's that? Oh, okay. Oh, I know you do. It's okay. No, the goat donut for me. The goat donut. Let me see. Holy cow. It'd have to have something with coconut in it. It does. The eclairs are really great. They're really great, man. But hey. I like sprinkles and white vanilla topping sprinkled with different colored sprinkles. Hold on. Oh, they eat donuts and what do you mean easy? Kiss my donut. Okay. Coffee critiques. So wait a minute. So Chris, think about this, and everyone think about this. So when you send an email, do you go like this? Hey, buddy, how you doing? Everything's going great. Then what do you do? Just drop the FA, what word in there? And how do you work that in? Oh yes. Hey, what a sissy. Hey, I saw you running over on the practice field. I know what so you kind of like you're just having back and forths like that. Why would you put that on an email? No. Why would John Gruden put that on an email? Well, one thing that can make him feel better is a cup of coffee. From Seattle. Yeah. No, he goes over to the Sands and gets it off the cart there, man. When people bring down the drinks from the night before. No. He goes to Paramus. Oh, man. Wow, that's a name from the past. All right. Listen, so much going on still, man. What a night in sports. We'll reset. You keep it right here on the Dan Sileo Show.